Hello everyone and welcome to another kind of KO video, I guess. Thanks to the team over at Sir Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Combiner made by Jaki. They kind of based their molds on the Combiner Wars Power of the Prime series, kind of re-engineer them slightly, and I mean slightly, and then give us similar but yet different products, not wanting to breach any copyrights, of course. Jaki are renowned for making those huge transformable RC cars. I believe it was them that made the Megatron tank that I reviewed last year. Now this is, excuse my crude translation, I believe this comes across as Night Eagle, the Combiner, and it's basically a rescue Combiner composed of the helicopter, the SUV, the truck, the Hummer, and a boat. So there we go. Let's take a look at the accessories first. We get various weapons that I cannot find storage for. I could probably plug these into some of the figures, maybe on the underside or something, but that looks to be like a rocket launcher. We get a chest panel for the combined mode, and we get a chest plate. Again, not found anywhere I can store those as yet. And then we get a sword, and we get a gun, which also doubles up as part of the combined weapon. So it would have been nice had they have given us somewhere to put those weapons. I can't find anything in the instructions about it, but at the same time they did give us a large trailer where we can store our combiner ports. We've got the feet there and the hands, and of course you could probably tell these are based on the Combiner Wars sections. This is our leader of the group. He forms the torso, and I believe his name translates, I think it's something like Seo Chi, I think, but he's a nice solid truck. Love the red that they've used on there, and it's a nice mix up with the purple as well. Easy transformation. Look, we can just pop the head up like so. Side panels, flip down on either side. These panels open up, this panel opens up, and you can see we've got the arms here. We can flip the hands out. This panel untabs from the legs, and that's going to come up on that double hinge. The legs are going to pull down, extend, and bring the feet down like so. Extend the arms fully and rotate them around. So again, extend that arm fully and rotate that around so that the fists are facing inwards. The arms can just tuck back, and we can bring in this chest panel, and that's just going to push and sit like so. I mean, that's not too bad. You know, yeah, he's got that monkey thing going on that we've always kind of got with Prime, but it's not the worst that I've seen. Definitely not the worst. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. Not bad. Not too bad at all. He's adequate. And as far as weapons go, he gets to hold the sword. Next up is Eagle Sky, or Sky Eagle. I believe this is a resculpt of the Generation Toys Whirl, where we got various different KOs of that, and it's not terrible. You know, we've got two of those rotor blades, but I've seen a lot worse. It definitely resembles form of helicopter. Let's untab these side panels from either side, bring the legs open like so. They're going to split, and the feet are just going to come down like so. Take off the secondary blade as well. Backpack piece disengages and forms the arms. Bring that around, pop the fists outwards like so, and these, and I believe, don't quote me on it, that's kind of it for the arms. I believe these tabs just sit down and the hands kind of hold them into place. We can bring this tab backwards, and with the arms kind of pulled backwards, just so we've got enough room. You want to apply pressure to the waist and just going to push this section all the way up. We can then bring the arms back down, bring the arms back down, and then bring the head back up to the front. Make sure that the tab is down like so. He's got a rather large neck section there, hasn't he? And the front piece, that can form a gun. Just want to plug that into his hands, like so. And then those rotor blades, they're going to fit one inside the other. Bring this tab down. And just push and tab that in. And there we go. There we have Captain Longneck. It's not a bad looking figure. He's not the best. No ratchet joints or anything in these guys. What you see is what you get, but they've tried to use their imagination. They've tried to stray away from the original design. It doesn't always pay off, but this doesn't look too bad. Next up we have my personal favourite, just because of his name. He is Royal Rudder. He is of course a boat, a nice kind of cruise ship looking thing going on there. He's pretty adorable. Not a bad looking figure at all, really. Considering all things, we can pop this panel off the top. This piece here is going to come down. Split these open. The arms will come up and out. These can then close off. The legs can fully extend and then rotate and then keep his backpack down. Again, nothing really going on with his neck there, but he looks pretty darn hench, doesn't he? We take his little missiles, and in theory these are meant to fit inside his hands, but I have not yet been able to get them to stay. I'm worried I'm going to break them. And that is sort of in. Also, backpack piece we can just pop over on his back like so. Again, nothing on that neck there. We've got rotation on the arms, come out to the side, bends on the elbow, rotation on the wrist, rotation on the waist, legs forward, legs back, out to the side. I mean, they're not horrific. I just can't say I'm a huge fan of these feet. So I generally bring those back just so he can stand. I mean, you can have them all the way forward, but I think he does have that tendency to kind of rock backwards. That is my personal preference. Next up, we have this guy, who I think is kind of a remold of Ironhide or Off-Road. The back section can just bend down. We have the legs. This canopy piece can come up. Arms, untab, and come out to the side, like so. And that frees up the legs, so we can extend those down. Push and extend that down, and then we're going to bring the feet down as well. There we go. Flip the fists out. There we go. And that, like that. And then we get his rifle, which is ridiculously long. There we go. Again, bit of head rotation in there. I like the colours that they're using. They're nice. And the actual overall feel is easily on par with the Hasbro Combiner Wars. They're good, solid figures. Don't know if we're meant to kind of have that spoiler piece. looking like that. Can't actually find the correct translation for this. I'm getting Quinji Jin. I don't know what that translates to, but yeah, that's him anyway. And the last member of the team with Google Translation doing its best. This is Deterrent Enemy. Again, this is based on the Bruticus figure that we got, Warbatron. So again, not just the Combiner War team getting ripped off at the moment. Poor old Generation Toys or Warbatron, whatever you want to call that team. There's not just them getting ripped off, apparently. It is everybody. So they take no prisoners. Right, let's move this section up. Move it around. Arms are going to come around to the side, around, down, and we can extend those fists. Same with this side, around, make sure that the wheels go to the back, bring that round. This is of course based on the Swindle with some remoulding. That goes up like so. It's going to come over the front, and then this should come up and tab in to the front there. These in. There's nothing in the instructions to tell you the correct transformation for them, and the hinges only go so far. Possibly kind of bring those in a little bit more, but that's pretty much it. The more you bring them in, the more this chest panel here rocks and moves. He's definitely the weakest of the three, I think, build quality wise, but nice head sculpt on there. Arms can come up and down. This is slightly hindering. Upper bicep rotation, bend at the elbow, rotation on the wrist. There is a waist rotation in there as well, done on a ratchet joint. Legs forwards and backwards, out to the side, bend at the knee, and you've got these big, huge feet which rock down like so. Rock down that, and they are ball mounted, so we've got a nice sturdy base for him. But again, these are all very different in appearance. They all look rather odd, don't they? What a funny little crew. And as you can see, by bringing in the likes of MP10 and one of the KO versions of Dump Truck from Generation Toys, which Devastator is the same size as their Bruticus, you can see they have all been downsized somewhat. They are much smaller than their original counterparts. Whether that was part of the engineering process, I don't know, but downsizing, can't say I'm a fan. I like them big. Right, now let's get them transformed up into their combined mode. This guy is going to form the torso, so we can open up this chest. The head is going to come up like so. You want to rotate them around so that this part is facing upwards. This is on a double hinge, so we work that hinge up so it sits like so. Lift this panel up, rotate the waist around, come around to the leg, make sure that this panel is up at the sides. This comes up and this tabs in to that side piece. Make sure the feet are down. We've got these combiner ports that come down on the legs on both sides. Bring those down. This is a waist flap which is going to come down as well, and these panels are going to open. This head is going to come in like so. We can bring in the torso piece that we saw earlier on that we had nowhere to put, and that's just going to push, slide and fill in that area. We can then collapse this crotch panel and put that back like so. That is in essence the torso piece. Now, before we finish him off, let's come around to his trailer, remove the hands and the feet. Like so. And just work it off the front panels like this. This folds up like so. This then unfolds and it's going to form a shield. And coming over to his back, you can bring this in and this in, and it just beefs out the back of the combiner torso. And the rest of the limbs we kind of need in their vehicle modes, unfortunately. So if you've already transformed them all up, you've got to go through that joy of transforming them all again, which, to be honest, is not the most joyful of ventures with these, because it's just, I don't know, they're a little bit something about transforming these up several times over is a little bit lackluster, to say the least. Bring these over. Again, with this arm, unfold the arm all the way out. And then rotate so that when this comes up and sits in the center, this panel can rotate and push and tab in. Now, before we get his front of the copter back on, let's just bring in this section here. You can now tab all of these in the helicopter section, and that's just going to tab into the front of the windshield. It's not as tight as it was, because obviously it used to use this section here. And then looking at the actual hand itself, get to slide the hand in. It's quite an imaginative, and this just slides with a bit of brute force and ignorance. You got to push this over that lip there, so you've not got any ratchets or anything holding that into position, which is a shame. And the backpack section does tend to keep popping off. Next up is our boat boy. Need to transform him up. Just making sure everything is nice and tidy. And rotate those legs and those hooks in. Making sure that these panels are down and they are tabbed in to the sides and to the sides, and just make sure everything is tabbed in as it's meant to be, like so. We've got the combining tab at the back here, which we can ratchet down. That's going to be for the next arm. And again, we have these hand pegs, and bring this down. There's the thumb on that hand, bring that down. This can then slide in like so. And again, on this side, flip the fist up. And then this is going to kind of force down, like so, over that void. And the backpack has come off yet again. And now it's just a matter of transforming these little guys up, ready to form the legs. There we go. Rotate the legs, bring those up and over. Covering off the hands. Again, these fold down, these tab in together, and the back of the truck can just tab in like so. There we can just put the feet on. This one's tilted over to one side, so let's slide that in like so. Can be stored on there like so. This thing is really falling apart. And last but by no means least is their swindle. So again, we can just transform him back up. Hold the fists in. Hold the fists in. Bring these panels up and out of the way. The head can go down into the void. Press the feet. Bend these back over to the back. This comes up to the side. And you want to bend these panels over. This is going to come around. It slides in nicely, and this is going to tab in at the back there, just taking up as little space as possible. And we're going to bring these panels down, push and tab those in. Again, on this side, bring that panel down, push and tab those panels in. These do not want to tab in as nicely as I would like. This is going to come down. This will rock backwards like so, and then using this panel at the front we can put the toes in. Right, and I think that's him pretty much combined up. He is a wobbly mess, to say the least. It's a shame. Could have been really good. I just think the joints are far too loose. Nothing really holds, and he looks like he's wearing really high trousers. It just doesn't really want to stay together. We've got leftover parts. He's designed to hold his weapons. I can't get them to stay in his hand for the life of me. They just don't want to balance. His shield isn't too bad. That folds in and that folds in and tabs in. That's a pretty nice kind of SWAT-like shield. But as soon as you start placing it in his hand, he just collapses. But it really hasn't worked at all, has it? Oh, they would have been better off just kind of keeping the Combiner Wars engineering to kind of repainting and resculpting a few heads, because that's a bit of a wobbly mess. I'd love to show you the articulation, but it's very limited. It does tend to fall over. We've got ratchets on those feet, rotation on the hands, rotation on the head. The arms do move around, but again, they just slip and slide, and it's just the overall balance. He's leaning forward, giving us a bit of a crotch thrust at the moment, because that's the only position I get him to stand upright in. And again, for the scale comparison, here he is alongside our dump truck and MP10. So he now kind of towers over them, but I really wouldn't hold my breath with this base. It is due to shelf dive at any time. If you'd like one of these, firstly, why? No, that's not fair. They could be fun, I guess, and it's good for fodder. I would probably let my son play around with this. Not my youngest, because I don't trust the parts. I can see those kind of falling off and getting lost. He's not young enough to choke on them or anything anymore, but still wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. And I could throw it pretty far, but it wouldn't survive. I would include a link where this can be purchased at Sir Toys if you choose to buy this. Just please bear in mind those faults that I've highlighted. It is a bit of a wobbly mess, but if you are good with your customizing and you want some spare fodder, then this could possibly be of use to you. I think maybe you could probably make something worthwhile out of this. Definitely liking the fact that Wei Zhang are making a new kind of Computron inspired combiner with their own original designs, and Wei Zhang, we know, are renowned for making good quality figures. Jaki are getting there. It's just they're still kind of subpar on those fourth party lines. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, from myself and the Jaki Rescue Combiner, goodbye. Shake test.